Hi there. We're in a brand new month of Proverbs, and we're going to start all over again. And this month we are going to use the Tree of Life version. And we'll get a little background on that. The Tree of Life version is a newer Bible. It came out about 10 years ago. Is a very accurate translation. Okay, they haven't changed any of the words and make it woke or anything like that. I'm going to just look into this. Okay, Tree of Life version speaks with a decidedly Jewish-friendly voice, a voice like the Bible authors themselves. Right? Okay, this was actually put together by Messianic Jews. Okay, all the apostles were Messianic Jews. Right? That's a Jew that believes in Jesus. Right? Okay, to recover the authentic context of the Bible and the Christian faith. Okay, Jesus' death and resurrection were not the beginning of a new religion, but the fulfillment of the covenant God made with his chosen and called out people. Yet other Bible translations lose the connection to the Jewish nature of the Bible. As a result, biblical books that were written to Jews, for Jews, and about Jews lose a critical element to their actual Jewish essence. Okay? Tivy is a new Bible translation produced by Messianic Jews and Christian scholars, which highlights the rich Hebrew roots and the Christian faith by restoring Jewish order. Okay, the Old Testament's in a little different order. Okay? The Jewish name of the Messiah, which is Yeshua, which we know that. Reverence for the four-letter name, unspoken word of God. Hebrew transliterated terms such as Shalom, Shafar, and Shabbat. Right? Discover the rich meaning of the Bible in its faithful new translation that is accurate, readable, reverential, and true to the Hebrew roots of the Christian faith. Okay, now, I have said before that the entire Bible is about Jesus, right? And they believe this. So things will be a little bit different because they believe that the entire Bible was about Jesus. Jesus is the fulfillment of the entire prophecies of the Old Testament. So, and no, we will, see things different. It'll word it a little different. It'll be the same, but word it a little different. It'll be really interesting to go through this. Okay. I have studied this Bible before, and I'm very impressed with it. So let's begin. As we know, the beginning of Proverbs is just telling us about wisdom. What is wisdom? All right. I'm going to bring another copy of this up here because we want to go to James 1 at some point. So let's begin. Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. To acquire wisdom and discipline, to understand the words of insight, to receive instruction in wise behavior, righteousness, justice, and fairness, to give discernment to the naive, knowledge and discretion to the youth. Let the wise listen and increase learning, and the discerning obtain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and a puzzle, the sayings of the wise and their riddles. Right? Riddles, most parables, okay, Jesus spoke in parables, and they were riddles. And if you didn't have wisdom and discernment, you couldn't understand them, okay? And even some of his apostles, he had to later explain his parables to them, because even they didn't get it. Oh, there you go. The wisdom of parents, okay? The fear of Adonai, they use Adonai, that's the word for the Lord, our God, right? Is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Okay? Now that's a very important statement. The fear of Adonai is the beginning of knowledge. Okay? It starts with the fear of the Lord. Right? But fools despise wisdom and discipline. Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and forsake not your mother's teaching, for they are a garland of grace for your head and a chain to adorn your neck. Right? Avoid a bloodthirsty gang. Okay? My son, if sinners entice you, do not give in. Suppose they say, come with us. Let's lie in wait for blood. Let's ambush the innocent for no reason. Let's swallow them alive like Sheol, still healthy as they go down to the pit. We'll find all sorts of valuable things. We will fill our homes with loot. Throw your lot in with us. We'll have one wallet. They say that. My son, do not go along with them. Keep your foot from their path, for their feet run to evil, and they are swift to shed blood. Surely it is useless to spread a net in the eyes of all winged creatures. But they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. Such is the fate of all gaining by violence. It takes the life of the possessor. Got that? Good advice. Wisdom calls, but who listens? Wisdom calls aloud in the streets. She raises her voice in the public squares. She cries out above the commotion. At the entrances of the city gate, she utters her speech. How long will you naive ones love simplicity? You scoffers delight in scoffing, and you fools hate knowledge. You are repulsed at my rebuke. Behold, I pour out my heart to you. I will make my words known to you, because you refused when I called, and did not pay attention when I stretched out my hand. Since you ignored all my advice and would not accept my rebuke, I in turn will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when dread comes to you, when terror comes like a storm, and calamity sweeps over you like a whirlwind. When trouble and distress overwhelm you, they will cry out to me, but I will not answer. They will earnestly seek me, but will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Adonai, first and foremost, right? They would not accept my counsel. They spurned all my reproof. So they will eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own schemes. For the backsliding of the naive will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever pays attention to me will live securely and be free from fear of evil. Okay, now we know from our previous studies that wisdom is Jesus, okay? Jesus was wisdom, okay? So, Jesus was wisdom. So whenever it's talking about, even though it uses a female context, okay, just for a note, there were no females in heaven, okay? There are no female angels, okay? All the paintings and drawings are just, like Solomon uses female as a wisdom because of beauty and grace. They painted angels in the female because of beauty and grace, but there are no females, okay? Jesus was wisdom. And if you read all this with the mind that he's talking about Jesus being the very essence of wisdom, it changes it, right? No. That's one, calling out for wisdom. And not a lot of highlighted in the first one. To acquire wisdom and discipline, to understand the words of insight, receive instruction in wise behavior, righteousness, justice, and fairness. Knowledge, discussion, understand a proverb and a puzzle, the sayings of the wise and their riddles. The fear of Adonai is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. So how do you get wisdom? Okay. We're in chapter 1, looking for wisdom. How do you get wisdom? Okay. We'll jump over to the New Testament. This is James 1. Okay. It starts out, Jacob, a slave of God and the Lord of Yeshua, the Messiah, to the 12 tribes. It's written, all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its perfect work, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Okay? And this is the important part that's highlighted. How to get wisdom. But if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives to all without hesitation and without reproach, and it will be given to him. Right? You just have to ask God for wisdom. He gives to all who ask. But, caveat, but let him ask in faith without any doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Okay? There's no room for hope here. I hope I get wisdom. That's not faith. Okay? Faith and hope are different things. Faith means if you ask, you know that God will give you what you're asking for. Okay? I am certain. I know he will give me faith because I ask him for faith, and he will. Right? Because let him give to God who gives to all without hesitation and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith without any doubting. Okay? And there's no room for doubt here. That's how you get faith. You ask for it. That's how you get wisdom. You ask for it in faith. Okay? In the beginning of wisdom, knowledge, fear of God. Fear of Adonai is the beginning of knowledge. Right? Fools despise it. And it's easy to see the fools out there that despise wisdom and discipline. Right? They're following whoever's ringing a bell. Mm-hmm. You know, this is just an introduction. Okay? If you read this with Jesus in mind, right? Goes out in the street, raises his voice in the public squares, cries out above the commotions. How long will you naive ones love simplicity? Behold, I pour out my heart to you. I will make my words known to you. Right? They would not accept my counsel. They spurned all my reproof. They did. So they will eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own schemes. This one, Jesus, but whoever pays attention to me will live securely and be free from fear of evil. So, there you go. That's Proverbs 1 in the Tree of Life version. It's interesting. It's an interesting version. There's so many good versions out there. Right? But you got to be careful of the later ones, right? Written in this century. Because there's a lot of them that are endeavoring to change the word, right? They change the context. They make it all flowery and pretty and sugarcoat everything when it's not to be sugarcoated, okay? This is the truth. Jesus is very serious. It's not something to be taken lightly. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? If you follow Jesus, you must give up your own life and live for Jesus, okay? It's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? You have faith and he will take care of you and will not let you fall. But there you go. So that's a brand new month starting in May. This is the 21st time through this, and we're going for 24. So I made a promise to myself a long time ago that I would study Proverbs for every day for 2 years, right? And it has been said by some very wise people that if you do it for 2 years, it will change your life, okay? And I've already been changed a lot, in 21, I've been studying the Bible now every day for 2 years and making videos, okay? I only make videos because it keeps me studying the Bible, okay? I do that for myself, okay? For yourself. The best way to comprehend something is to see it with your eyes, hear it with your ears, and speak it out loud. So, and making videos, you do all that. And it's the best way to comprehend anything. So there you go. So there you are. Starting a new month. All right. Keep up every day. Okay. Stay tuned this afternoon. I think we're in Luke 21. I got day 121 of our Through the New Testament in a year. And it's getting good. I mean, he's in Jerusalem now, and he's about to get in a lot of trouble. So, but stay tuned for that. Give us a like if you think about it. And tomorrow we'll do it again. See ya.